Hello, everyone. Thanks for your patience on that. So sorry about the Zoom link, but we're here now. We're all here. So welcome to our very last movement session together for the summer. You get to watch me melt again in the in the sunshine. So Neil and I were up here getting ready, and he went, "Wow, it's hot." And I said, well, luckily I'm a little desert girl. I was raised in the heat and stuff, so I feel really good. But you might see me dripping throughout the session today. But I wanted to give just a really quick recap on our intensive. So thank you for everyone who came out and made it. It was such a gorgeous day together. Celebrating, moving, learning. Yeah, it was just incredible. So thank you so much. Some things that we talked about at the intensive we're going to be implementing today. So we talked about the 4 different types of movement through space. So there's the sagittal plane, there's the coronal plane. So sagittal plane is frontwards and backwards. The coronal plane is from side to side. We have the transverse plane, which is twisting, and then we have plyometrics, which is impact or jumping or things like that. So when we load our wrists in tabletop, that would be considered a plyometric style movement. So those will be incorporated in our session today. We talked about why those specific 4 types of movement are beneficial to our fascial system. And then we also talked about pain in the body. So there's 3 different types of pain, but I think maybe we should define pain first. So pain is sensation coupled with the intention to move away or the motor response in the body to move away. So if you're not moving away, it's not pain is kind of what we addressed. And learning to teach our bodies that sometimes what we perceive as pain is actually sensation that we actually could kind of lean into, and that's okay. So we'll kind of incorporate those things today. Honestly, I marched all over the North Coast yesterday. I walked so many steps. So I kind of planned today's session to be a nice, easy kind of fascial release movement session, and I knew it was going to be 1,000 degrees up here, so I also didn't do too much like hard movement and stuff like that. So we should just have a lovely, juicy session today. So we'll start as always in easy seat. So easy seat looks different for everyone, right? It can be like this in the diamond formation, which is a little easier on the hips for some people. We can do crisscross. I'm gonna snag my little block. You don't have to have a block. You don't have to use a block if you don't want to. You can use a pillow or a blanket. But for me, I like to use this because it creates my pelvis being rocked slightly forward. So when the pelvis is slightly forward, that means that we're up on the sit bones, lifting through the low lumbar of the spine all the way up to the top of the crown. The head is nice and buoyant, and we view the neck as an extension of the crown. So maybe even just the most like gentle, light tuck of the chin to extend the back of the neck, and then we'll connect the backs of our hands to the tops of the knees. And wow, I've had such a crazy day today, so I have been looking forward to this time with each one of you. So let's just go ahead and get here. Let's let the eyes fall shut. I will say just real quick to everyone, because it's so hot, I've cracked the window just for a little bit of air for myself. If it's obnoxiously loud or anything like that, just type in the chat to Neil and we'll close it and get it situated. But I'm so warm, so I thought, oh, it will be so nice just to have at least the tiniest bit of air moving. So from here, we're gonna check in with the body. We're gonna, movement is the language of the body. So we are going to let the body speak to us. We aren't always good listeners of our bodies. So any sensations, right? Any tingling, any niggles, any tightness or tension, we're just gonna make note of it and take a second to get here. Make sure to soften through the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, dropping down away from the ears. Don't force them, just try to bring your breath and let the shoulders soften. And then from here, we're gonna do just a really gentle chin to chest head tuck. Stretching the back of the neck. And then we'll swing our nose over to one shoulder. And we've talked about this in class. We're thinking of keeping the ear as far away from the shoulder. So really open. And we'll inhale here. And then as we exhale, we drop the chin and swing over to the other shoulder. And same thing, think of keeping this ear as far away from this shoulder as possible. Don't strain, don't pull, just think of creating space. Oh, I never said about the 3 types of pain. We'll do that right now as we kind of continue to inhale. And then drop the chin and swing over to the other side. So 3 types of pain. Pain entering the body, pain stored in the body, and pain leaving the body. So in our conscious movement practice, right now, I promise you, there's a bit of pain leaving my body right now. My neck is very tight today. I can feel this in my sternocleidomastoid, which runs from my ear and attaches down here on my collarbone. That's very tight. My scalenes are tight. So even though this feels like pain to me, we'll scoop over to the other side. I'm trying to view it or feel it as just sensation. This is just a sensation. And now we'll scoop over to the other side and continue that journey with the nose. We go up and around, a couple big circles, almost like you're drawing kind of dinner plate size circles with the nose. Switch directions, head the other way whenever you're ready. Beautiful. Shimmy back to neutral. And then from here, we're gonna interlace the fingers, bring them up overhead, and squeeze these elbows together. Lift, think of lifting out of the pelvis. So squeeze, and then we exhale as we bring the elbows wide. A little, maybe gentle press on the top of the head, nothing crazy. Then we inhale as we rise up, squeeze the elbows together. Exhale. Press gently. Inhale up, lift out of the pelvis. Exhale. One more time in the same form. Inhale. Exhale. This time we're gonna give a little stretch to our shoulders. So we're gonna inhale and press up. And then we're going to exhale as we bring the hands forward, scooping my belly in, almost like I'm squeezing my sternum towards my pelvis. Little flex of the spine here. Then we inhale, push up through the pelvis, and exhale. Cave forward. Inhale, push up. Exhale forward. Squeeze that low spine. This time, as we raise up, we're gonna bring the hands back behind to connect kind of to where our neck is. You can keep them on the neck. I like to keep mine just where my skull starts to kind of bend at the top there. I think that's a little more comfortable for me. So find kind of where feels good for your shoulders, for your elbows. And we're gonna think of opening the elbows nice and wide. So we do this, we've talked about this a ton in class. We do this because this is a counter movement to a very familiar pattern that we all sit in, which is the shoulders are rounded forward and we are collapsed in the chest. So it's really important that we do these different styles or different types or opposing movements where we're opening the chest, opening through here. It's very tempting to kind of flare the base of the ribs. You can really see mine today. If they're flaring out, I want to make sure that the base of my ribs is tucked down towards my pelvis. That supports the low back. So think of stacking the ribs directly over the pelvis, head over heart, heart over pelvis. And then from here, we inhale and we're going to exhale. Squeeze the elbows together and bring the head towards the mat. It doesn't have to go anywhere close to it, just down. Then we inhale, push up, elbows come wide, don't flare the ribs, try to keep them down. And we exhale, little squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Beautiful. From here, we inhale and open, and we're gonna drop one hand down to support us in the side. Release this hand as we reach out of that hip. Keep the sit bone connected. Breathe into that side rib cage. Then from here, we're gonna cartwheel over to the other side. We use this hand to support and reach out of this hip. Keep that sit bone connected down here. Breathe into the ribs. Expand the belly. Try to think of the diaphragm at the base expanding, so we're taking nice diaphragmatic breaths, not breathing up in our upper chest. Sometimes takes a little bit of practice to know the difference between chest breathing and diaphragmatic breathing, so if you're not quite sure, that's okay. Beautiful. We're gonna cartwheel over one more time. Reach. And then from here, leave your hips where they are as we slice through space. Twirl around, hands stack. We push the chest forward. We open the body. This is a bit of that transverse type of movement that we were talking about where we're twisting. So we exhale here, swing around, and twist. Hands stack on top of one another as we press the chest forward. And we exhale as we slice. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. I know I said one more each side, but we're gonna do one more because it's feeling so nice. sometimes if you're practicing on your own and you are like loving a movement and feeling that movement, it's okay to just keep doing it over and over and over again. So good for the body. Give the body what it's asking for, you know. If it's enjoying a certain type of movement, it's okay to keep doing it. So from here, we're gonna just bring the legs open a bit, nice and wide. Again, we're gonna make sure that we're up on the sit bones, not collapsing back like this. So we're up nice and high. And then from here, we're going to use our fingertips for a bit of leverage. Maybe you're not able to connect to the floor here. Maybe you're feeling like, oh, I can't quite get there. Go to wherever you are able to connect and use the floor as a little bit of leverage where you're kind of pulling away from it. And we're gonna bring the hands up the body. Inhale, nice tall spine. And then exhale as we cave forward. Same thing, use the fingertips for a bit of friction as we pull up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cave forward. Last time in this form. Beautiful. Come back to kind of a neutral position here. We're gonna bring the feet together. So again, that can look like a million different things for people. So it might mean that you need to kind of have a wider diamond formation. If you can bring the feet together and have a little bit more of the heels close to you, that's great too. It's okay if the knees are a bit high as well, but find whatever works for you, where your hips kind of feel comfortable. And we're just gonna start little tiny flaps, little butterfly wing flaps. We're just creating a bit of movement and space through the hip. And then from here, I'm gonna stop those flaps and think of grabbing the ankles, sitting up super tall through the spine, and bringing my chest forward. Now you might already feel a huge stretch and sensation here. So find that point of sensation, right? Where you're like, no, this is definitely pain. Find the sensation. So for me, I have really good turnout. I don't have great internal rotation. So I can go quite far here. So you find kind of where your point is, where you feel that really strong sensation. And think again of making sure that we're not collapsing, that we're sitting up super tall, and maybe it's here, right? Maybe that's kind of the extent of where you can go. If you can go a little further, you might be able to creep the fingertips down and come to the forearms. If that still feels okay, you might have a little bit more depth to bow the head and bring the head all the way to the feet. And breathe. So anywhere in between counts, okay? This is not performative. This is not, oh, I can do this and you can go further. It's none of that. So find your point, and then we're gonna really bring the breath. So soften into this. Come up out, nice and easy. And we're gonna bring one leg in as we pop one leg out. We do this one a lot in class, and I love, love, love it. I have very tight hamstrings today from all that walking and traversing across Ballantoy Harbor and Mussenden Temple, and oh, it was so amazing. What a day for it. So I'm gonna be using a block under my knee because my hamstrings are quite tight today. You can use a pillow, you can use a blanket, you can use nothing. It's up to you. If your hamstrings are also feeling very tight, you can always just have a very generous bend in the knee. You don't need a block for that. And we're gonna be thinking of bringing our head to knee pose, right? So we're lifting out of the pelvis. We're not trying to reach our head to knee collapsed like this. We're reaching up and over, and maybe it's only to here, right? Maybe it's the knee, the calf, the ankle, wherever you're making it to. If you have a bit more, you can reach for the foot, and then folding the head towards the knee. Again, non-performative, non-judgmental, wherever you can get to is absolutely fine. Move in this direction and bring the breath. When I first started this pose, working on this pose, I could maybe get to like here. So a great way to kind of start progressing and getting further and further in your practice is by using something like this and then removing it once you do get your head to knee. So you might be all the way up here. You might have a big bend in the knee where you're only getting it to here. That's fine. Once you get to that point where you can connect the head to the knee, then you can drop down and again bring the breath. It took me a couple months to get to that. I'm not expecting people to get to that today, but just continue to challenge yourself. Continue to feel those sensations and breathe. Beautiful. So from here, we're gonna find our anchor point like we always do, whether that's the toe. You can do yogi toe grab here with the first two fingers. You can grab the base of the foot, ankle, calf, dealer's choice. Find your anchor point. And then almost like a bow and arrow, we're drawing up the arm, bringing the elbow up and twisting the shoulder girdle open. And then the hand is the very last thing to float away. I keep joking about this, but I'm like half serious. We're gonna keep practicing this position because by Christmas, we're gonna try and do it standing. So we're gonna try and do this standing and see how it goes. So if you're thinking, no way, Jose, that's totally fine. I used to think I could never do something like that as well, but we're all learning together and we'll give it a try at some point. So really think of expanding in all dimensions, all directions here. And then we'll take a big inhale. And then exhale, reach the hand towards the foot. Doesn't have to make it to the foot, just towards it. And then same thing, draw that bow up the arm to the chest space, and then twist that shoulder open, and the hand floats last. Big inhale, exhale, reach towards the foot. Last time here, everybody's favorite, lift is optional. So we're gonna rainbow the hand up and over. And then right when we get to about here, we release our anchor point, let the hand come back behind, and then dealer's choice. You don't have to lift. We just compressed kind of this whole area. The hip flexor was very compressed in this position. So we wanna open it and do the exact opposite. So we can either open it by pointing the toe and connecting and staying on the mat. Or if you would like, you're gonna drive through the heel. point the toe and lift the pelvis up and off. The reason why we drive through the heel is to activate the glute. So we don't want to be supported by all these little thin, tiny muscles in the hip, and we want to be supported by a big, large muscle like the glute. So press through the heel and raise the pelvis up as we open the body. And then nice and easy, we come back down to earth. We'll swap sides. So bring this foot in, swing it on over, and that was my good side. So we'll see how my not good side is doing. Do you ever have that feeling when you're doing a class and you're like, well, we'll see how the not great side is doing today. So I've got my block, and then same thing. I'm not slouching and reaching. I'm lifting over, up and over the pelvis and reaching towards the calf, the knee, the shin, ankle, foot, wherever, and then really bring the breath. I'm really trying to tell myself right now that this is just sensation. Wow. Little bit of pain leaving the body. Wow. So find that in your own body, that point. And on every exhale, just try to release a tiny bit and inch the head a little bit closer to the knee. Beautiful. So from here, right, we find our anchor point, toe, ankle, calf, wherever you're at. And we're gonna draw up the arm towards our heart. Twist that shoulder, right? So open and then release the hand. I have no idea what this looks like, but it feels magical. The sun is like kissing the side of my face right now. It feels amazing. I hope each one of you got to enjoy a little bit of sunshine today. Beautiful. Big inhale here. And then exhale. Reach towards the foot. Same thing. Try to soften. Bring the breath. And then same thing, let's draw that energy up the arm towards the heart, open the shoulder girdle, release the hand last. Very tempting here to be kind of tight through the shoulder. So like that ear to shoulder that we were talking about, tight and compressed here, try to drop the shoulder, try to be relaxed through the neck, the jaw. Inhale here. Exhale, reach towards the foot. And then very last one, find your anchor point. We're rainbowing the hand up, over, and then release, connect. Dealer's choice here, we're either just opening up or you can drive through the heel and press the pelvis up and expand, take up space, right? That's what I always tell myself whenever I do this. Take up as much space in this world as you want. And nice and easy, we come back down to earth. There's so many parallels in life to what happens on the mat, right? It's such a good practice, good reminder that our movement can kind of parallel our own lives, taking up space, all of that. So from here, if you need to grab a sip of water like I do, you can grab one, and we're gonna meet in tabletop. So I'll meet you guys there. Beautiful. So as always, we need to chat about tabletop. That's going to be knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. We're plugging through all of our fingers, making sure that the weight is nice and evenly distributed through the hands. And then from here, I'm going to bring my knees as wide as the mat and sink my weight back towards my bum. Then I'm going to bring my chest over to one side of the mat and go over one hand, come over the other hand, and then sink back towards the hips. Just a little wrist warm up here. You can sync your breath if you'd like. Switch directions whenever you get a chance. Wonderful. Bring those knees back to more of kind of a under hips position. And then we're just gonna bring the fingertips out towards the side of the mat. And then very gently, we're gonna rock from side to side. Listen to your body here. Again, more sensation, right? Could feel not awesome. But we do really wanna give the wrists a nice little stretch today. So just gently rock from side to side. Try to keep the whole palm connected. Wonderful. Bring that middle finger back to north, back to facing up. And then from here, we're gonna do a couple cat-cows just to warm up the spine. So we're gonna exhale, press up, chin to chest, ears to biceps, squeeze the sternum towards the pubic bone. Then we do the exact opposite. We float the head through the shoulder girdle, drop the belly, scoop the tailbone up into cow. This is where we inhale. And then exhale, squeeze, press up. Inhale into cow. Follow your own breath a couple times here. Beautiful. We're gonna hit a couple barrel rolls. We've done these a lot in class. So just up and then drop the rib cage down and around. Really think of creating space, creating movement. This is helping the spine move in all directions. And then go up and over the other direction. Almost like your rib cage is scraping along the inside of a barrel. Beautiful. We'll shimmy back to a neutral position. And then from here, we're gonna do a couple scapular circles. So scapular circles happen in kind of these back shoulder blade. The scapular area is back here. I'll be honest, scapular control is pretty hard for me. I've been working on it a lot, but it is quite challenging. So if you have a hard time with this, join the club. It can be kind of tricky. So I always start by bringing my scapulas up. So shrugging, almost, I keep saying, draw the shoulders away from the ears. This time we're squeezing them up towards the ears and then pulling them away. Squeeze them up towards the ears and then pull them away. Really make sure you've got a soft bend in the elbows here. Don't be totally locked out in the elbows. Nice soft bend. And think of shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears and then pulling them away. Up and away. Then you're gonna think of pushing the mat away through your scapulas. We've talked about this before, not locking out with the arms, but kind of pressing up through the shoulder blades and then sinking the head down. So pushing up and then sinking down. Push up, sink it down. And then we're gonna try to combine all of those movement into some scapular rolls. So we're gonna try to roll through the shoulder blades while we're in that tabletop position, both directions, which can be quite challenging. So if you need to, start with just those shrugs back and forth and keep going back and forth this way, that's completely fine. Otherwise, we're gonna try to create a little bit of circular movement through the shoulder blades. And then this is the really hard one for me, to go the other direction. So I'm pulling my shoulder blades kind of back and around. To go the other way is really hard for me. So scapular control is something that I'm definitely working on. It's a bit like that other one we've done in class where you raise a big toe and leave all the other toes connected to the floor and then swap, where you kind of don't have full control. So it's just creating those neurological pathways again in the body. Opening those up. Beautiful. Give a little shimmy to your shoulders, a little wiggle of the spine. And then from here, if your wrists are screaming, we're almost off of them. We're gonna do a couple of those thread the needles. So think of twisting through the shoulder girdle and then floating the hand last. So we sometimes kick the foot back and do these in kind of this balancing position. Today, I really want you to focus on the thoracic spine movement and the scapular movement that we were just doing. So no balancing today, just really focusing on bringing the hand up, twisting through the shoulder girdle, right? This is that transverse movement that we were talking about. And then the hand floats up. We inhale here. And then exhale as we thread the needle through the arm. Inhale, open. Exhale, soften. Inhale, press up. Exhale, reach through. Last time in this form, really try to think of that scapular area, that everything that we were just working on in those shoulder blades coming back and down, and then hand floats up. Beautiful. Come back to neutral as we go to the other side. Inhale, release the hand. Exhale, push through. Inhale, push up, reach. Exhale, reach through. Last time, inhale. Twist through the scapulas and the spine. Reach through. Wonderful. Come back to neutral. We're gonna give ourselves a little gentle foot stretch here. So my toes are kind of tucked underneath, and I'm gonna come back, give them a little gentle stretch. So it might be quite intense for some people and they might need to kind of stay here. If you're okay, you can bring your full weight back and really stretch through the foot. We're just gonna give them a second. So from this position, we are gonna go onto our stomachs just for one movement. So this one is quite an intense stretch on the pec minor, the pectoral muscle of the chest. So just as always in all of my classes, listen to your body, go as far as you'd like. You don't have to, prove anything or do anything that doesn't feel right to you. So from here, we're gonna come down onto the belly. So meet me down here. And then you're gonna bring your arms out wide, like almost into a T position. And then I'm gonna bring this hand nice and close to me to support me. And I'm keeping this hand out nice and wide. And I'm bringing this opposite leg to the hand that's out, just up. And then I'm bringing it back until I maybe connect to the earth. And I'm pushing kind of up with this. You can see my shoulder down here is getting a big stretch. The pec is also getting a big stretch, and really bring the breath here. Our arms don't usually go back behind us often. So we really want to tell the nervous system, this is okay for my arm to be here. Try to soften. I can feel some of my muscles are quite tense right now in my shoulder because my body's going, what are you doing? So just tell your body, I got you, don't worry. Beautiful. We bring the leg back down and around, and then I'm going to go to the other side. So this arm comes out. I'm going to bring the opposite up, over, and open through that shoulder blade, through that chest. Bring the breath. Wonderful. Come back to neutral, and we're gonna swing onto our backs. So if you just wanna roll over, that's great. I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water, and then we'll meet on our backs. We also talked about at our intensive the idea of seasonal movement, and as we start to head into kind of the fall and winter, we're gonna be doing a lot more Shavasana, a lot more corpse pose. This is really intentional. So we are gonna end with that in our practice today. We've got plenty of time for it, but you will start to see that being incorporated more into the autumn and winter term. The entire point of asanas or postures in yoga is to get to Shavasana, to get to corpse pose. So the whole entire sequence, flows, movement, vinyasana, all of that is to prepare the body to be in corpse pose, to be in Shavasana. So a lot of people, I think it's funny, a lot of people in practice, when you get to the end of classes sometimes and get ready to go into relaxation or Shavasana meditation, people scurry out and leave, and it's like, this is the whole point of what we've been doing. So I like to try to think of that. It's like this entire practice today is preparing us to get into that corpse position, to park the body, to park the mind, and to just be in that pose for a second. We call it, a lot of people call it, the most difficult pose in yoga is Shavasana, is corpse pose, because nobody wants to just sit in it. So we're gonna head towards that direction by going onto our backs. And we always, always, always start by pelvic rocks in class. We do this because just like that little toe one where the big toe, you raise up the big toe and then connect it and the other ones go up, and it's quite tricky. The same thing goes for the pelvis. It's very hard for the brain to connect to pelvic movement. So it's so simple to do these pelvic rocks, and it creates a really big impact in the body. So from here, we're gonna think of where our pelvis is at in space. I'm holding my hip bones here. I can feel my pelvic bones right here. And we're going to rock them forward. I've got a huge gap in my low back and my low lumbar. People could camp under there, right? Like there's a huge gap underneath. And then we're going to rock that back, squish the people, press the lower lumbar into the mat. And what happens, you can probably even see it on camera a bit here, is my abs turn on and are active. Then we rock the pelvis back, huge gap in the mat, right? And then we rock the pelvis back, tailbone scoops up as we press our lower lumbar into the mat. One more time. I know it feels very simple, but it's really good to connect that mind to muscle. And you can really feel when you press your lower lumbar into the mat. This is what I talk about all the time, where I talk about stacking the ribs, not flaring the ribs. The ribs are pointing down towards that pelvic bone, and it's so much more supportive of the low back. You can feel the core supporting the low back versus when we kind of rock and there's that big generous gap, the abs are turned off, and that low back, this can be kind of painful for people, this position. So that connection to the mat is really essential. So from here, we're gonna keep that lower lumbar pressing into the mat. The tailbone is scooping up. We're driving through the heels as we raise the tailbone up, and we're in our glute bridge. Now, we've talked about this before. We don't want to be engaging through the low back. It's very tempting in this position to do so. Think of squeezing those bum cheeks. Think of driving through the heels, pressing the pelvis up, and maybe even, like, you can even slightly rock from side to side to feel all those glute stabilizing muscles, if that feels okay for you. Keep holding, keep flexing, squeezing. If you're shaking, your brain is changing. It's completely fine to shake during class. Keep breathing, keep squeezing, you've got it. Nice and controlled, we lower the pelvis back down to the mat. The tailbone is gonna kiss the mat for a second, rest, and then we're gonna go straight back up. So nice and controlled, scoop that tailbone up towards the ceiling, squeeze through the glutes. And maybe even a little wiggle, maybe even a little motion to feel the glute squeezing. I even test sometimes. I will kind of poke my bum cheeks to make sure that they're actively squeezing. nice and controlled. Exhale as we bring the tailbone back down to the mat. Let's incorporate the arms now, where we press through the heels, scoop the pelvis, and we raise the arms up as we inhale. Exhale, everything lowers back down to the mat. Inhale, push up, arms raise. Exhale, everything softens towards the earth. Last time, inhale, press through the heels. Exhale, back down. Perfect. From here, we're gonna pop our hands to the tops of our knees, maybe even squeeze them in towards our chest a little bit. And then from here, we're just gonna draw little circles, really plug in that lower lumbar area, that low back into the mat. This is really good for root chakra, our grounding energy. We're feeling the earth support us. The earth's got your back. And then we'll switch directions, go the other way with those little circles. And then from here, we're gonna go into a hip opening pose that doesn't always feel right for everyone. So again, listen to your body, figure out kind of what you need. So this is happy baby pose. So we're gonna bring our feet up towards the ceiling, like we're kind of showing the base of our foot, the palm of our foot towards the ceiling, and we're reaching towards the feet and trying to either grab the inside here, or if it feels better, you can grab the outside of your feet here. Now, keep the feet flexed. We don't have the toes pointed like this. We've got the feet flexed. And you're gonna think of pulling the knees towards the earth just gently. You can really lose your balance in this position. So really think of grounding through that tailbone, through that lower lumbar of the spine, and peeling the hips open. And really bring the breath. If this is too much for you, if you're not able to get to this position, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pop your hands to your knees here, open, and then just hold open in this position. If you've got a little bit more depth, then you can either grab the feet from here or here and open this way and really bring the breath here. Nice and easy, bring the legs back in, maybe even give them a little squeeze towards the chest again. We're gonna go ahead and drop into Shavasana. So think of getting as comfortable as you can. So I like to float my hip or my feet and legs kind of down away from my pelvis, like they're going downstream. The wider you bring your legs, the easier it is on your hips. So if you're really close together here, that can be quite intense. So find a position that makes sense for you. If this doesn't feel good, you can also totally kind of do that TP the knees up. You can bring them together like this, whatever you need to do. Palms face up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades, get them nice and connected. And just let the body absorb all that movement that you just did. Focus on the rising and the falling of your belly. from here, we're going to soften the architecture of the right foot. So bring all of your intention and awareness to the right foot, the right ankle. And think of relaxing every little muscle in the foot and ankle on the right side. Then bring your intention over to the left foot, the arc of the foot, the ankle, the toes, softening each area on the left side. Keep your intention on that left side as you soften through the calf. The back of the leg, the hamstring, top of the leg, quadricep. And even up into that left hip socket. Think of all of your intention is going to that left hip. Then we come back over to the right side of the body. We're going to soften through the right calf. Think of all the muscle fibers, all the fascia just letting go. Draw all your intention to the right hamstring, the back of the leg, and to the top of the thigh, and softening through the right hip. And just keep kind of scanning the body, softening, melting into the mat, into the earth. Remove all facial expression from your face. Soften through the jaw, the root of the tongue. Just relax every element of the face. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna nice and easy draw one leg up so the knee is teepeed up towards the sky, and draw the other one as well. You can kind of readjust your pelvis if you need to here. And then very gently, we're just gonna kind of rock the knees from side to side. This isn't so much a stretch as we're just kind of bringing some awareness and movement back into the body. And then nice and easy from here, it's up to you. You can either roll onto your side to sit up, or you can do this kind of counter rocking motion. I always do the rocking one. I'm gonna sit up today on the side. Roll over to your side, push up, and I will meet you in easy seat. Whether that's crisscross, whether that's kind of diamond formation, or if you'd like to come up into kind of a thunderbolt, that is fine as well. We're gonna end our practice today with my new favorite. I am loving this one. One hand comes to our heart chakra, heart here, and then the other one comes down to the belly, to the ego center, to our sacral or sacral chakra, sacral area. And a lot of the times we think of ego, kind of the ego gut, sacral chakra area being bad. When we hear ego in the West, we think that's a bad thing. It actually is a really good thing. So the ego, our gut, this hand is symbolizing that we possess a part of ourself in our body, in our energy, in our personality, whatever you want to think of it as. It's a part of us that is good at sticking up for ourselves, having a backbone, having boundaries with others, speaking up when something is happening that's wrong. So that is symbolized by this hand, and then the other hand on top of the heart space, on top of our heart chakra, represents our love, right? Our compassion towards one another, our kindness, our empathy. All of that is symbolized in both hands, and you possess both of those in yourself at all times. And so we're going to breathe life and breath into that right now. So one hand on each, and we're going to take a nice big inhale through the nose. Pause at the top. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Pause at the top. Absorb. Exhale through the mouth. Last time. Inhale. Breathe life into these areas. Pause. Exhale through the mouth. From here, we release our hands. We're going to thank the earth for our practice today by connecting to it here. We're going to reach up towards the sky. Thank the sky for the beautiful sunlight that we got today, the sunshine. And then maybe we connect the two through you. You are the glue that holds the earth and sky and reaches to both together. A little bit of heat between our hands. And we're just going to bring our hands to our third eye, to this intuition center. And then wash everything off our face. This symbolizes removing all that doesn't serve us anymore. And bring it back to our throat so that we can speak truth to our heart, and then down in a little triangle to represent our spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being. And then I get to bring my hands to prayer and thank each one of you for sharing your movement practice with me today. Namaste. I wish I could just hop out into Ormo Park with a little flask of tea and hang out with each one of you. That was so nice. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. You can leave a little chat on your way out saying bye if you'd like. And I will see you all when I get back from America. I'll hopefully be sun-kissed, and my heart will be full, and I'll be full of energy and ready to move with you through the winter and fall. So thank you so much, everyone. Bye.